start with our first headline story. And paddy rice harvested from the Suchari rice farms are germinating due to inadequate drying floors and milling centers. Farmers say either the 2,500 centers on the project wait their turn to use the 8 combined harvesters available, or lose all their yield, or manually thresh the rice and lose some 50% of the yield.
Farmers on the Midday irrigation project currently cultivate 2,500 hectares of the 3,000-hectare farmland. Like most public sector stakeholder irrigation schemes, the biggest problem is maintenance of the system. Weeds have taken over the reservoir and canals supplying water to the farms, and farmers say they cannot do much without the help of the Irrigation Development Authority. But this is the least of their problems. The major season has just ended, and they should have harvested, dried and milled the paddy rice by now. There are only 8 combined harvesters to service the 2,500 hectares, a hectare for each farmer.
Insonato trata antimi ko rice no akofa emono rice no ni omu meli rice na sam de ko dwano omu si omu meli rice no kokra omu anto ama omu di isi a omu no wefo no so ana say
farmers have to employ the services of extra hands who charge 800 Ghana cedis to cut and thresh, 1 Ghana cedi for carrying a bag of paddy rice to a vantage point for tractors, who also charge 4 Ghana cedis per load to cut the rice to drying platforms. At the drying platforms, farmers wait their turn to dry the rice before milling at 4 cedis per bag of rice.
Ti edu mi so na me mo na nya na watwe mienu wafuo no so me bedu drying front so me nya kwan enu so me di na watwe ti e mo na 3 weeks afi na me nya baabi a me hata na ni nyina fifi no enti se si ama me my lusu dodo a ese quantity ese me nya ne sai bio.
Farmers contend if harvesters, threshers and dryers are made available by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, post-harvest losses will be minimized.
We cannot actually purchase the combine harvester, because when you look at the price of a combine harvester, it's at high side, and currently we cannot contribute money to pay for even 50% to have a combine harvester. So we are appealing to the government that now that we are in the peak time of harvesting, they should bring us a combine harvester that will be monitored by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to give us a service.
Private owners of milling centers have invested in destoners to ensure the rice from the Midday irrigation projects is wholesome for consumption, but has not brought in buyers this season. Packages do not match up to the standard of imported rice from the market, and farmers need assistance to open up the market for their produce.
Away from agriculture, now let's move to health. And do you know that a smile, an embrace, or a warm welcome could be possible therapy for persons who are mentally ill? Well, doing this could be reducing the prevalence rate of 2,166,000 people who suffer from moderate to mild mental disorder, according to health experts. A report by Daniel Lati.
The World Health Organization's figures suggest 2,166,000 people in Ghana suffer from moderate to mild mental disorder. Some 2,098,000 people remain untreated. Mild and moderate mental disorders are generally characterized by some combinations of abnormal thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Examples are schizophrenia, depression, mental retardation, and disorders due to drug abuse. According to the World Health Organization's assessment instrument for mental health systems report conducted in Ghana last year, a sample of 10 faith-based organizations treated 1,253, while 10 traditional practitioners treated 749 mentally ill people. Implementing the new mental health bill will promote access to basic mental health care in the least restrictive environment. The act advocates a shift in the focus of mental health treatment from institutionalized care to integration of mental health care at each level in the health system. Health experts advise a warm welcome, a smile, and embrace are possible therapy for persons who are mentally ill.
If the person has been treated and must be reintegrated into society, are the structures there family members sometimes, when they have to welcome you back home, are the very ones who say, this man, he hasn't changed though. We don't want to have anything to do with him. So it's as if they prefer the old system to the new system that is being advocated across the world.
Currently, there is unequal distribution of mental health facilities, and services are much overrepresented in urban than rural areas.
Where we are is very bad. If you ask me, on a scale of 10, we are just about 2/10. Mental health care in Ghana is not good enough. We don't have enough logistics, psychotropics, we don't have enough medicines, and that is not good enough. If you look at our mental health facilities, there are just 3 psychiatric hospitals, and all these 3 are located down south. So they are not spread nationwide.
The report of the assessment of mental health systems in Ghana is recommending a budget for its implementation and sensitizing more people on the act.
Time now for stories on elections and politics, and the leader of the Great Consolidated Popular Party, Dr. Henry Latte, has introduced development communication expert and educationist John Ameka as his running mate for the December polls. He exclusively introduced his running mate to TV3 in Accra.
I'm making it public now. Mr. John Ameka, he's the running mate. He's been with the late Latte for years. He's very experienced. He's been in the political scene for years. He knows how to handle and run a political party.
John Ameka, a communication expert and educationist, was before his appointment as running mate, the General Secretary of the Great Consolidated Popular Party GCPP. He worked with the late Dan Latte from 1995 to 2004. John Ameka hopes to work with Dr. Latte for improved results in the December polls. Meanwhile, presidential candidate Dr. Henry Latte has indicated the GCPP was active and still pursuing the domestication policy.
We don't want to come and make noise when we are not on the ground. Right now we're on the ground and we're ready. It took us a long time to get it sorted out, but anything that is good is worth having. And in politics, it's never too late to do anything.
He said the party will soon begin serious activities and optimistic of making a difference in the December polls compared to 2008.
The party has become very, very strong in all the constituencies we are there. We're going to make a phenomenal difference in these elections. You see, people just throw figures about, and we don't believe in that. The results will show for itself during the elections.
Now joining me in the studio is the running mate of the Great Consolidated Popular Party, GCPP, John Ameka. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Like we heard from Dr. Latte, you have been with his father, Dan Latte, for a number of years. And from him, you really understand politics. Before we get deeply into why you're standing as his running mates, the IEA debates just ended some few days ago. Now, do you think that the political parties really represented Ghana from the GCPP point of view?
Well, I'll say they all did well, and from what we saw, Ghana has really come far as far as democracy is concerned, because all of them has views on the various topics that were put to them, and I think it is the electorate who would look at it and then vote for the one that they think is the best. But one of the things that was left out is, though they spoke about it, energy. Energy is something very important for nations' development, and some of them spoke about it, the short term and the long term. But I think that we or the Great Consolidated Popular Party think that we should be able to put in place a mechanism to be able to tap solar energy. Solar energy, because this part of the world has a lot of sunshine, and we can have a lot of energy to store and therefore none of them spoke about it. I didn't hear it, but if they have spoken about it, then it must be handled well. In Europe, currently, they are all looking forward for solar energy, and I think they are ready to invest in solar energy. If you look at the equator and where Ghana is placed at a strategic position where if we try to develop solar energy, it will help us a lot. But on the whole, all the candidates did well.
Were you satisfied?
Well, I'm satisfied because that is what we have now. And but the only thing is that the IEA should have involved all the other political parties so that we can have all the views of all the presidential candidates. Therefore, when they are taking the decision, they take the decision according to all that. But now they have limited all of us to only 4 political parties.
Okay. Now, domestication gained ground with the late Dan Lartey, whom you were with and you had backed for a very long time. Now, his son is maintaining you. Why is he doing so?
Well, I think he has confidence in me. He knows the work I did when I was with the father. We worked until we had a certificate for the party, until I became the general secretary of the party. And during my time, he contested the election, the presidential election once. And when I left, they couldn't contest again, and I came back. In fact, the party was in a lot of crisis, and how to organize the party there was a difficulty, and even the commission at that time was not trying to recognize the party. But when I came in, I noticed that Dr. Henry Lartey was serious and he wants the party to stay. So I also gave him all that I know about party organization, and he follows it, and with the consent of the Electoral Commission, the party has come back. And I think once the party has now come back, we will now sustain it and make sure that we present it to Ghanaians, the party that they want. I know that the Ghanaians want a party that will be faithful, honest, and respectful to the knowledge of the people. And I think when we are able to build such a party, it will be able to do a lot of things for them.
So what's the message of the GCPP for this year?
It's the domestication still. Because the domestication is all about looking at what you have, developing it, and if there is a need to have other things from other areas and add to it, and then you bring them in. But it's not solely looking about what you have alone, but you must develop that one first as the foundation for the development of your nation, like the energy issue that I raised right now. We need to look at what we have, what we can do about it, and what we don't have, how we can bring it in and then develop it. Without domestication, it will be very difficult to develop this nation.
Now, domestication indeed something you really support. In this year's campaigning, have you noticed or had political party campaignings looking at brand Ghana and even talking about made in Ghana goods? Have you noticed or seen anything like that?
Yeah, they are only picking pieces of information from them.
Is that worrying to you?
Well, it's not worried, provided they can put in place the mechanisms and the structures that will make us achieve that aim. It is Ghana that we want, not necessarily we are the only people who have to do it, I mean the GCPP, but any party who understands and can work it well, then let them work it so that at least Ghana will have the best.
Okay, now we're getting very close to the elections, less than 40 days. We haven't seen much of the GCPP campaigning. What are you doing as a party? And where have you been so far? How far have you gone with your campaign?
You have to look at us from where we are coming from. The party went into crisis, and then we have to work hard to be able to bring the party back. We had our last National Delegates Congress late, and then you have to do that before the Electoral Commission accepts you. And so we did that, and then this year, the unfortunate situation also came in that the filing of nomination was delayed. Instead of September, it moves into October. So we have just completed all that, and now we are going to move into the nation. But meanwhile, we have been talking to all our people underground to move into various places where they can make campaign, and it's going on well. And if you look at this year's election completely, the campaign, the way it's going, it's not about rallies, it's not about...
but numbers do count. Other political parties also did suffer the delay from the EC, but they've already started their campaigns. Some of them have even gone around the country. Is that enough reason why you shouldn't go
that
around?
Is not frightening us.
Doesn't numbers count and politics?
If numbers counts, if numbers really counts.
And you want to run the country?
During the last election, Nana Akufo-Addo had a lot of people to Independence Square. And you can see that he was able to mobilize the people.
But the one who had the highest
let me even come in again. Dr. Ndum brought a lot of people to a circle, and then that day was a great day for him. But at the end of the election, what happened? It's not about the people that you are able to pull and show to the whole world. It's about the message that you have, and then making sure that people get the message.
But if you don't have the people, who will vote for you? No. In the end, the person who carries the message and has a lot of people believing in him tends to run the country.
I'm not saying we don't have the people. I'm saying it is about the message and acceptance. When people receive your message and they are able to accept your message, it is the message that will move them to go and vote. And if you don't start selling your message out early to persons in the country, how would they buy into it? But our message has been there all this time.
But you need to re-echo it.
Yes, and we are pushing it. I told you that we have the constituency executives who are really underground working, and we've been going to support them. So, but the media, we are yet to come into the media and then pull the crowd for people to see, and that is what is the lapse that we have not been able to do now. But before the election, you will see us.
So what's the way forward for GCPP? With you by Dr. Henry Lartey?
No, we want to put in structures that will mobilize the knowledge of the people of this country. Because when we talk about winning election, we will win the election, you represent the whole country. There are some who are not politicians. We need to reach out to all those people, tap their knowledge, and use the knowledge for the governance of the nation.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. I have been speaking to the running mate of the Great Consolidated Party, GCPP, John Amakan. We're looking at his life in politics, also what role he will be playing to support Dr. Henry Lartey. We'll be back after this. It's still Midday Live. Let's move to some other stories. A United States ambassador to Ghana has pledged his country's continued support to Ghana for the mutual benefit of both countries. He was speaking during a meeting with the Accra Metropolitan Chief Executive Alfred Oko-Vanderpoy at the Assembly's office in Accra.
The Mayor of Accra, Alfred Oko-Vanderpoy, enumerated some projects government had undertaken with the help of the U.S. government. He mentioned the sector that needed foreign assistance more was education.
We feel very comfortable working with your embassy. If you ask for ways in which we could collaborate, right, and ways in which we could do more to build our relationship, education, the support for education is one area that we want to have your word and your input to make that happen. This office is always prepared to work with you.
The U.S. ambassador to Ghana, Jane Kretz, assured the mayor he would do his best to strengthen the relationship between Ghana and the United States of America.
Dialogue with you over the next weeks, months, and years to see what other areas of Accra we can work together on to improve the lives of Ghanaians in this wonderful capital city. And like as you mentioned, I hope that the Conte Group project is approved, because my understanding is from talking to the Conte officials that you will see some fairly dramatic improvements in a very, very quick period of time. And so anything we can do, please, we'll continue this dialogue, and I hope we can be as receptive to you as we can.
The Mayor of Accra, on behalf of the country, sympathized with victims of Hurricane Sandy.
Let's move to education now, and the Ghana Education Service has approved 3 more books as supplementary materials for religious studies for senior high school education in Ghana. The books are to equip the youth in practical issues of real life and also build their spiritual lives. The book, Recreating Your World, Don't Stop Here and How to Make Your Faith Work were launched in Accra by the Christ Embassy Church. The church is confident the books will develop the human spirit, educate, shape the lives of pupils, and draw them closer to God. The zonal pastor of Christ Embassy Accra, Pastor Bildun Lawal, said the books will equip the youth in practical issues of real life.
The approval according to GES is to enhance the spiritual development of the users, and this exercise has been named Project Life and has been ongoing on a pilot basis in the Greater Accra region to be used as supplementary materials in all our junior and senior high schools.
An educationist, Miranda Ansa, recommended the books as a good source of building stronger spiritual lives.
This book will change lives, will let them know that there are better things in life than what they see now. Religiously, morally, is what they need.
Two of the beneficiaries said they will make good use of the books. So for more in the world of business and sports, stay tuned. We're back after this break.